What's up, Flockers? We're back with another episode of Flockast. This is episode 52, and as always, we are joined with Colin Long. What's up, Colin?
What's happening, Jake? How you doing on this fine Sunday?
I'm doing great, buddy. It's a sunny but windy day here in Columbus, Ohio. Just went on a bike ride with my son Boulder, and I'm joined with you with a special podcast and a series of podcasts that we've been doing since Pigeon's been on a little bit of hiatus. Today we're joined by Mr. Michael Buddy.
Yeah, what a fun one this was. Cool guy I met at a bunch of shows. We were joking about it earlier. A list of people that I only know at a show. I run into him maybe at a half a dozen more Pigeon shows. I know at Peach Fest I was hanging with those guys for a little bit. But it was fun to have him on. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this one was fun. We had lots to talk about. That's why we're doing our little intro before we get into the interview itself. But yeah, like Colin said, Mike's one of those guys that you run into at a show and you really want to sit down and talk to, but it's just one of those it's just not the time to
Start a conversation, unfortunately.
So we had him on today to get to know
To
him
have that conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah, have that conversation. And Mike made the intro music to Flockast, and that's why we also wanted to have him on, just to give him a little shout out, because he is also in the band Funkwondo, and he joined us from his dojo today.
Yeah, and he said he might be able to make us some new intro music. So I'm kind of excited to see, how that goes. But it's exciting. I was really stoked about this week was some of the new content that Pigeons had put out. Greg rapping, freestyling is the vibe that I needed this week. It was a little bit of a jolt of Pigeons that it's going to help me get through to these shows coming up.
Yeah, that was real fun to see. That whole sequence was shot down in Atlanta when they were down for their 2-night run at the Variety Playhouse, and was actually shot by Guilty Peach on YouTube, who's also Mr. Shane Nelson, and we have got a episode lined up with the funny man himself, Shane Nelson. He also did, if anyone was at the Asheville Acid Test, he did the little joke session in between sets over the loudspeakers, messing around. So we got that one.
Okay, I remember that. I remember being like, where the hell is that coming from? What is happening here?
Right, and that was the whole point, and that was Shane Nelson. So Shane is going to be joining us on episode 53, but we're happy to have Mike on today, and we hope you guys enjoy the show.
Boom. Word Park. It's just a park in Charlotte that they just put up a stage and have a bunch of art and free music, so it's pretty cool.
What bands were it again?
Last night was Robert Randolph. He's named one of the top 100 guitarists in Rolling Stone of all time, and he plays a lap steel guitar and just shreds the whole time.
I've seen him one time at Solana Beach, the Belly Up Tavern, like 20 years ago or so. It was a ripping show. The guy's a killer. So anyway, look, we're back. We have a special guest with us today, Michael Buddy here. How's it going?
Very good, man. I'm grateful to be interviewed on this little podcast you guys going on. Congrats for taking it so far. It's a pretty sweet thing you guys got going on here.
Yeah, we're coming up to your anniversary here soon.
Right.
I think it's next month.
I really never thought we'd make it this far, but also obviously with us we have our Captain Koo over here, Mr. J. Coon.
Hello. How are you today?
He's over here staying cool.
How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just hanging out here in South Florida and having a nice relaxing weekend. I slept for like 12 hours last night. I felt like a dream. So
nice.
Yeah. Been keeping a little low profile here, but Just hanging. How about you, Jake?
Uh, went for a bike ride today. It's beautiful here in Columbus. It's like the warmest day it's been so far this year, and got boulders screaming in the background, so I might grab them here in a second and give them a yogurt. But yeah, man, we're happy to have you here today. If you guys don't know, Michael is the creator of our theme music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I was just gonna say, it was pretty sweet that you guys let me give you some music for the intro. When I first found out about the podcast, I was like trying to find something to give me an excuse to make something, you know?
You know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes all you need is that excuse, right?
Yeah.
But you make
Yeah.
music yourself. I mean, you're in a band, Funkwondo.
Yeah. We've been around for a couple years now. So yeah, it's
Okay.
a
Yeah.
pretty fun journey that we got going on.
Yeah, you have like a Facebook group too, right? The Dojo.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually in the dojo right now.
All right. Well, if anybody doesn't know, is it just called the Dojo? I don't have it up in front of me right now. So if anybody who's listening wants to go join,
Yeah, it's called the Dojo, Funkwondo Vibe Space. It's a public group on Facebook. I just, put whatever music related stuff on there, something, get the people talking, kind of ask what everyone's doing this weekend, what shows they're seeing. So it's a fun group.
nice, nice. How did your band come together in the first place?
So I've been wanting to get a band together for a while, but I didn't really be proactive about it until a few years ago. I just there's a band around here called Akita, funk band, and they found each other through Craigslist. So I took to Craigslist and met some people, but the bass player that I play with right now, Danny, he's stuck with me.
Cool.
And there's also Open Jam, that a group here, Jazz Fusion, Cosmic Collective. They're no longer doing it, but they had a really huge following every Tuesday at this bar, and all the local musicians would just show out, and it's just off the cuff, like no covers or anything, just straight open jams, and you
Cool.
get on stage with whoever. And I met some people there, and and that's how band got together.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, just through jamming. When I used to live in Pennsylvania, every Thursday there was kind of one of these open jams where it was like a core group of guys, but then as people came in, they'd rotated in. Not a musician, but I just enjoyed watching people jam together, right? They're kind of just finding each other's tempo and rolling with that. So it's fun. That's cool. That's how they came together.
Yeah, I'm very grateful because when I actually started, making those posts and going to that open jam was just started when I made those Craigslist posts. So it kind of felt, like fate was happening as I was getting everyone together. So it felt really special to have these people want to play with me.
Are you guys
Yeah,
touring at all, or do you guys just play pretty local?
The farthest we have gone has been a few hours away, near Wilmington, at Shaka Stage, but we're definitely looking to expand out of Charlotte. Hopefully get some gigs in Asheville because I love Asheville.
Yeah.
Raleigh maybe. So, but yeah, we got a few shows coming up around the area. One of my favorite venues, the Visualite Theater. I don't know if you guys have ever been
No,
to
I
that,
haven't.
but
Cool name though.
such a cool place. Such a cool place. The vibes there are immaculate.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Choice, man.
we were talking
Choice.
before. You don't like the venue that Pigeons are going to be playing down there coming up, right? That's how she
Oh
said.
yeah. It's I think
What
it's
is it?
the Underground, Fillmore.
Fillmore, okay.
So, as you may know, it's run by Live Nation, and they just have like very terrible views of the stage. They got people like making sure you're not blocking the like walkway. They have taped walkway, and if you like barely step on it, they'll harass you for doing that. So
Here comes the hard ass with the flashlight. Excuse me, buddy,
Yeah.
you're over the line here. You need to get back in your place.
exactly, the flashlight is what does it. Like, all right, I'll move.
Put it down.
Just-
Put it down, man.
Yeah. I'm innocent, I swear.
No, I was talking to someone about this not that long ago, and the Fillmore. I've been to the original one in San Francisco. It was that kind of original place, and I think over time it's gotten overly corporate, and the name has just kind of been watered down from what it was originally to like what it is today. It's kind of two different things, but the name is, I think, just being a little abused, because it doesn't have that same energy of the original Fillmore. I mean, I've been in there. That building's amazing. My dad was in there in like the '60s seeing Jefferson Airplane. Like, it's crazy. So it's like a historic building to go there. But when you go to the Fillmore and, in Philadelphia, it's a cool venue. Don't get me wrong. But, it's just a venue at this point. And to your point, owned by Live Nation. So
Yes, yeah. And they oversell it too, so it gets super crowded in there. But they do have another side venue called the Underground, which is a little bit better, but still, I try to avoid Live Nation venues to my best, but it's like
it's becoming harder and
of-
harder, right? At some point, they're going to monopolize just about everything. It's interesting when you I've gone down the rabbit hole on like if you go to their website, you can see all the venues they own. They list it on a website in a giant list, and you start scrolling, and you keep scrolling, and then after a while, you're like, holy shit, I'm scrolling for a while. There's a lot here, and they're it's not great. For competition, I think it's great for them as a business, but it's not great for bands or the fans.
No, it's not. Most of Columbus's bigger venues are Live Nation venues. The Newport's Live Nation, Kemba Live, Wart Pigeons is going to be playing is Live Nation, and even the one down in Covington is Live Nation, and they're all underneath Promo West Productions. But
that's how they disguise it, right? It's run by this production company, but that production company is owned by Live Nation, and you're just like, oh, so it's a cup and ball game they're playing.
Right. It's kind of unfortunate, because it was a smaller, like a Midwest type production company that ended up being bought out. So at the end of the day, the merch cuts and stuff like that end up going to Live Nation rather than, staying in the local economy or whatever you want to say, I guess.
Because they need the money.
You've got some holiday music. I was listening to that this year.
Yeah, man. I've been doing that since like 2016. So that was my eighth Christmas album. I do a Christmas funk album every year. And some of them are not great quality. Like one time I just used a cajon to make beats.
And I've listened to most original Christmas music, and let me say, like, the bar is pretty low. I mean, you're competing with Jingle Bells,
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I was listening to it this year at work and stuff, and I was getting down to it. It's pretty. I mean, I think that's like an untapped market as far as like jam bands go. I would honestly love to hear like more of my favorite bands play some more holiday tunes,
Right.
not just Christmas music, but holiday tunes.
Yeah.
Well, we've had the same 30 songs for 100 years, so like we can add some more to it.
Yeah. I had a bunch of help on this last one too. Like some local legendary musicians helped me out on this. So it's fun to collab as well.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
the beauty of music, right? It's bringing people together. That's why I like the Dome Fest All-Stars, right? That's why I get so hyped about stuff like that, bringing it back to Pigeons. But, you're putting a bunch of people on stage that are, that work well together. That collaboration usually creates some pretty good jams. We've talked about plenty of the Dome Fest All-Star great moments, on this podcast before, but, any chance you bring good musicians together,
Yeah,
Usually
we
sounds pretty
got
good to
some
me.
like newer all stars, not the regular people. I mean, not regular, but like the ones in the past. So I'm excited to see that have Eli from Topopod come
Oh yeah,
out.
Eli's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Michael, how did
Who's all
you?
listed?
Oh, go ahead.
Who is all listed on that All Stars just recently announced?
Brian
Like,
Moss from Spafford, Austin Litz, Nick Greeley, and then more. I don't know who more is, but I'm sure they're good.
I like more.
Yeah.
I like
But yeah,
more.
sure to be a good time. But Michael, how did you get into pigeons in the first place? Like, how did you discover them?
So way back in 2017, um, my ex-girlfriend, we were at her sister's uh, fiance's house, and he was putting on he likes a lot of Grateful Dead and stuff, so he was putting on some jam tunes, and um, there's that psychology cover on the TV
Yep.
screen, and it was playing FU. I was like, what is this? This is awesome. Like, um, when I was like younger, I would just have like music in my head, like a groove that would just go over and over and over. And I didn't really know anything about jam bands at the time, but I was like essentially down my alley. And my ex-girlfriend's friends were into Green Sky, so they took me to Green Sky show at Jim Thorpe, PA, at this
Great
beautiful
venue.
barn venue. Yeah,
Yep.
it's probably one of my favorite venues, honestly.
It's
But
cool.
the following year, they took me to Pigeons when they came to Ram's Head for a two-nighter.
Oh, that's
And
2018, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I was there. That was like my first 2-night run. No, that was killer shows. Yo Soy
Yeah,
Fiesta
man.
debut. Yeah, great drunk people. Some good highlights from that show.
Yeah, and seeing what was it? Starts with a W. Mine's Blaken. Whoopi. Yeah,
Whoopi,
they're playing
yeah.
Whoopi, and they're bobbing their heads back and forth. I was like, this is fun as hell.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love after that. So, yeah, that was a great introduction to pigeons.
Yeah, look, that 2-night run really cemented my direction with pigeons. I had slowly becoming a more bigger fan. I went to the TLA shows that were just prior to that, and then like that TLA show just kind of got me like, ooh, I want a little more. Then the 2-night run was like it was it. I think those two shows were just magic. So I think we were falling at the same time for him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What year did you get into pigeons?
I first saw them in 2014, but it was slow. I saw them once, and then it was like a year before my next show, and then I happened to it was just kind of catching them when they were close by me. I wasn't really like seeking them out. So my second show was in Bridgeport at the what's it called? Drawing blank, but it was like a bar. It was pretty small, and that was kind of fun. And anyway, just kind of slowly got more into it. And then by 2019, I was full steam ahead.
Nice.
And then 2020 was a bit of a gap, but then obviously in 2020 when everything came back, I went to like every show I could, and it was like I felt like I was on Jenny mode.
Yeah,
What about you, Jake?
my first show was in 2013 at Dark Star Jubilee at Legend Valley. Yeah, they were playing like a daytime set, and at the time I didn't really understand what I was watching and stuff like that. I was just like first real festival I had gone to outside of Hookahvilles, because Hookahville started like around where I grew up. Like acoustic hookah was my introduction into the jam band scene, and
Really?
yeah, and also the Gathering of the Juggalos used to be at the same place where Hookahville
Mhm.
No
was.
shit.
So
Isn't it back there now? Is it back there this year?
At Legend Valley, I don't know, but before Hookahvilles were at Legend Valley, they were at a smaller venue called Frontier Ranch, which was behind my house in high school where I went. And so like every spring and fall there'd be Hookahvilles, and like so many people that I knew, well, mostly people that didn't have sports to go to, would go, and Hookahvilles leave school in the middle of the day. So like everyone would go to Hookahville. So my first Hookahville wasn't until like my senior year, which was like 2006. And then I didn't see pigeons until 2013 when I graduated college and won tickets from the local public radio. So that's how I ended up getting them. But then I didn't start, following them like I do now until about 2017 when they were at the workout at Legend Valley, and I saw them in a late night setting, and just blew my mind, as you can imagine.
Nice.
Them,
Yeah.
late night, and I found
They're a great late night band. If you're going to put for a festival, let's say it's not a Pigeons Festival. I mean, let's just say it's a different fest. Like, they would be a great slot. I mean, I remember even at Peach Fest, like when I'd find out they wouldn't be in a late night slot, I would be frustrated. I'd be like, dude, put them on late night. We're going to rage.
At 2 a.m. set.
Yeah. I'll keep myself going for that.
Yeah, but then I was actually doing production work for the workout, and they were playing late night at the Woodland stage that I was working for. And by that point, you're not really working late night. So I was, experiencing it like how you should experience it. And at the end of the show, I found my first pin, a pea ball and stuff. So I got one of the early gray pea balls, and then just, from then on was like, I gotta seek out this experience more, because it just blew. For it being on a small stage late night and the back
just
of the
baby
net.
Jake, just no idea what's going on, and just here's
Football
everything.
coach. I was a high school football
coach.
coach. So like during the day and stuff, this was like during camp, I'd go and coach high school football kids, and then in the evening go back to Legend Valley and watch pigeons.
Put on a tie-dye shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Oh, that's so funny. So
But,
it'd be cool if that's interesting history of Legend Valley that you have there,
Yeah, I mean, I grew up right down the road from it. I was never able to go to any of the All Goods. I think there was only one that was there, but I wasn't able to go to that one. But yeah, I've been to most of the Dark Star Jubilees, most of the workouts. I've been there, residences, before they moved. Even I remember seeing pigeons at the first resonance that was
Sweet.
at Frontier Ranch, which was behind my house too, when I was in college. Yeah, that was cool seeing them with like Dopapod, and I think Green Sky was on that. That was the first time I saw Green Sky. They were playing late night the last night, and I never heard bluegrass like that before, so that changed my trajectory on music and stuff as well. But when was the last pigeon show that you were at, Mike?
Shoot, it was last year. It may have been here in Charlotte.
Jam packed, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, jam packed. So yeah, it was jam packed. But I had a good run of like 4 or 5 shows last year, like within a span of a month or so.
Nice.
Because I was at Resonance, and then they came here July 4th for a free show.
Right.
Yeah, and then jam packed. So, it was a good summer. It was a good summer. It's been too long.
Yeah, I think for everybody. I mean, and I get the reference, but it's definitely like this gap. They say distance makes the heart grow fonder, and they're fucking right. It feels like Pigeons haven't played in a year. It really is kind of odd. I'm sure they're enjoying their time right now, but it's definitely been a long break.
Yeah, it has been long, too long. I guess I'll
Too
keep
long. And
going on
You
with
could,
that one. But yeah, I know a lot of people were excited. Colin and I were talking about it earlier. He doesn't think that he's going to be able to make it. It's going to be a game time decision, but I'm planning on making both nights of that. You got any plans on seeing pigeons in the future? You just wait until they swing on down in your neck of the woods.
probably my neck of the woods, but I'm debating hitting one of those Northeast shows. Sounds hella fun up there. What they got going on with Frasco and dogs, but
it's going to be a
most
party.
likely, yeah,
It's going to be crazy.
yeah. But most likely when they come through here, there's a show at Devil's Backbone. I was telling you, Jake, that place is pretty cool. It's near the Appalachian Trail, so bunch of cool outdoor stuff, and you can camp
Cool.
out there. So
Yeah,
I'll probably be in that.
I went to the last show. I know I mentioned it before on the podcast, but that was actually my 75th show for that one,
Hey.
the last time they were there. And after the show, we actually hiked a little bit of the Appalachian Trail and found a rattlesnake for Jeremy that he was pumped
Oh,
about.
cool.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah.
It's
'Cause,
scary.
like, what's that?
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
scary.
Yeah, I don't like snakes. I hate snakes. And I heard it, and I was like, that's nothing I've never ever heard before. Because like in Ohio and stuff, there's not usually rattlesnakes and stuff. There's not much like rocky outcroppings where I guess rattlesnakes like to hang. So we were up like on a cliff overlooking like the Shenandoah Valley or whatever, I guess. Is that right? I think. And I hear
Yeah.
this rattling and stuff, and I'm just like, oh shit. And I went up like this different way when everyone else went up this other way because it's like more rocky. I'm like, I'm gonna be a badass and go up this way and stuff. And I heard it and I ran back and I was like, oh shit, I think there's a snake over there. And Jeremy's like, take me to it. So I like took him under, and he was dangerously close to this thing. I was just like, dude, what are you doing? He was just like, he's peeking it out. And he looks
Crikey,
up.
what have we got here?
Exactly. I was
Snake
like, what are
charmer.
you doing, dude? I'm like, we're nowhere near anywhere if you get fucking snapped on for us to
And
like,
everyone's gonna be so mad at you, Jake, if he got bit and it's like somehow it's your fault. I'll be like, damn it, Jake.
Yeah, like
Really?
got bit on his pinky and like his right hand. And he can't play the guitar ever again. It's just all my fault or whatever. But no, he looked up at me and was like, I owe you for this one. So got that locked away in the brain for maybe sometime in the future. I'll have to call.
Gotta save that for a real rainy day.
But yeah, that's fun. The Devil Backbone show should be good. So I think they are doing as many outdoor shows as they can for this Frasco and Dogs tour and stuff. And speaking of that, I think they are actually talking to each individual venues and trying to get more of a like festival vibe going for it and trying to get some vendors from local
Nice.
markets to hop in because I mean that's what this is, like a replacement for Dome Fest essentially, or what they've been marketing it as for the most part, with the after parties with Magic Beans and having
Yep.
dogs open early in Frasco on it as well. So hopefully, they can have a little bit more of the community or whatever involved at the shows. I think it'd be a cool thing to have if that can
Yeah, I
happen.
hope they pull it together. Definitely
Yeah, I
be
mean,
good.
like for those bands, like alone, that feels like festival vibe already. You know.
It's a traveling circus. It's a full 3-ring official circus. Because even before beans, it's like you're packing a lot in there, and Frasco somehow sandwiched in between pigeons and dogs. It's like crazy. I mean, it's a lot to pack in. It's gonna be a really dense day if you do all of it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
kind of has like a feel of like jam packed. Music's going to start earlier in the day, and then pigeons will probably be, wrapping it up as it's getting dark and stuff like that. So it's actually going to be pretty fun. But I mean, if you get there early, you're kind of stuck in a venue. I'm thinking like what we were just talking about, a Live Nation venue. There's no re-entry on those, so if you go in early, be prepared to spend some money on some hydration or whatever, or some food, because they're not going to let you bring food in there, which would make sense if they had like another food truck or something out there.
One of my favorite things about Dome Fest always was kind of like the food and drink policy. Basically like we have vendors here, but bring coolers, bring drink. Like the fact that I could walk from the stage to my car to fill up my water bottle full of drinks again, I'm just like, this is the best. I'm not stuck spending $15 a drink. Like, all right, like I'll do it if I have to, but it definitely like puts a damper on it when you're if you're gonna drop 80-90 bucks on who wants to do that if you can just have it in your car 200 yards away from the stage. That's the best.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a huge deal too. Like I I was praising that. I only been to Dough Fest one time, a couple years ago, and just the fact that we're able to, bring our own things and kind of walk freely around the area without, a bunch of strict rules to follow was really cool.
Yeah. 2 years ago when I had my sponsor tent, I was right behind, like in the bowl, like right behind kind of the crowd. I had a giant cooler and I told all my friends, come here, throw all your drinks in my cooler, and then just got them, they're right here, and I'm like, I don't know, we can do any better than that at a festival when you're like, 20 feet away, I have a cooler full of drinks. And I'm not breaking any rules. I didn't sneak anything. I'm not,
Right.
I'm abiding by the rules, as I am a very rule abiding guy. I don't know if you knew that about me.
Every single one of us on here is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's
never jaywalked.
exactly? I've got a ticket for jaywalking in Australia one time, and I couldn't even believe the cop was serious when he was writing it to me. I'm like, no, seriously, what's going on? He's like, no, you just write me the ticket. And I'm just like, no, seriously though, like what are you doing? And it was like $35 ticket. I'm like, this is seriously, this is real. Anyway,
Australia,
but
man.
Michael, what's your take on like the upcoming album, Day and Time? The think about the tracks.
Oh, they're awesome. I was actually listening to them on the drive today, and just really really appreciating how they've stepped up their game and just their studio tracks. So I really like Day and Time and All Right Tonight. Those are probably my favorites.
Those are certified absolute bangers. I love those songs.
Yeah,
it was interesting. Like oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that All Right Tonight from your last show at Jam Pack was pretty gnarly too. Greg really crushed it on that one. But yeah, go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, look, going into that show at Jam Pack, I was chasing one song and one song only, and it was the All Right Tonight. So it was definitely gnarly.
Yeah, Greg's voice was on point at Jam Packed.
So I mean, so it was interesting. Last week we had Ariane, who's a musician as well, right? And I always think, the way that like I listen to a song, and since our last episode, I've been thinking about this because I don't have like a technical musical mind. Kind of as a musician yourself, do you see a kind of a progression if you look at from like psychology to fast forward to like Day and Time? Are you seeing from a musical standpoint, like how do you look at that, like the difference in kind of their evolution?
Yeah, evolution is definitely a huge thing for bands, and not everyone's going to like bands changing, but it's kind of inevitable because people change. But from their beginnings, psychology and just it was kind of more like straight funk, but now they're more kind of like into. It's hard to put a finger on it, obviously, because you can pretty much name any genre with some
Pretty
kind of
open to
description.
interpretation.
Yeah, yeah. But to me, it's more like alternative funk rock, um, mixed with some psychedelia in it. And I was actually listening. Someone posted a podcast that I think a jazz professor
Yeah, with a
interviewed.
Gator, right?
Yeah, yeah, and they're kind of trying to describe their genre too, but definitely Chili Peppers vibes, more so these days.
You're definitely getting a lot of that. I think it is definitely the evolution because one of the things that I always think about, when I like certain bands I like, Fish, Pigeons, so on, they have a very unique sound. Like I know when it's them and they are very original. It's hard to do. I think it's either happens or it doesn't happen. You create this sound, and Pigeons have always kind of had, even though their music's evolved and it's definitely got more rock, more different elements to it, it still inherently sounds like them. I think they still have to maintain that kind of original sound where they just don't suddenly sound. I know we say like the Chili Peppers, they're kind of inspired, but at its core, they're still like very unique, and especially the jam scene. It's my take on
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, what do you think, Jake?
I mean, I like how you said that they were more, you know, funk in the beginning, I guess, but it's more like they were more in their live shows, if you would consider that, rather than just their straight album psychology. They were like really into more psychedelia type stuff back in the, not so much back in the day, but like probably like 2017, 18, with more of their live stuff. And just recently they've been more like experimenting with, like you said, like an alternative uh type sound, and then like even like some heavier rock in some of their jams. I was just listening to their Soundwave show from the after party, the Fish after party last year, this week on repeat, and they get heavy in some of these jams and stuff like that, and it's just a territory that they've never really been before, like used to go to. It'd be more of the psychedelic, more funkier feel. So like now I feel like as they're growing up, they're putting a little bit more of their own personal emotion and experience into the music writing. But I mean, I don't know necessarily. Like Colin says, I come at it just as a person that's like, this sounds good to me, so my analysis isn't that be all end all or whatever. But if you go to the live shows, the progression of how they play and stuff like that has definitely changed. And like even recently, they've been even messing with the volume of how the volume of their playing in their jams. Like they'll go real soft for a second, then you can only hear Gator for a second, then it gets back up. So if you listen to some jams recently, I think they did it in at the Knoxville show. I've been listening to that a lot lately. So they've just been trying lots of different things during the live shows, and I think it's been reflecting in their studio and stuff like that. And this most recent, album, I think is their most professional studio setting that they've been in, just because like it's the most that they're like publicizing it. They have like a video of their single in the studio. They're posting pictures of them in the studio, so it's like more of a more professional type avenue that they're going down, which I don't think is necessarily a bad idea, because they still have
Not at all.
the I guess the
I don't know.
I
You
can't
can
think
tell
of,
me.
yeah, they still have the
That thing that they do.
yeah, what they're known for, and
Yeah.
being goofy, off the wall, fun
I don't,
shows and stuff like that. Like how you were just saying earlier, Mike, how you one of your second show they were playing Whoopi, and just the head nod to the music was like, oh, this is super fun. So like even when they're getting like serious with their music, I guess with the sound, the live show is still lighthearted and fun and stuff.
I remember the early days of seeing Melting Lights when Greg and Ben, when the lights would go down, would switch spots when the lights would come back on, and all of a sudden they're in like different spots. I remember being like, "Whoa, whoa, what was that? It was magic! How did you just end up over there?"
Yeah.
But it was silly antics, But like, I appreciate it because they're not taking themselves too seriously while they're playing quite seriously. They can have fun with it, and I find that fun contagious. And I always find it funny when people criticize that nature of the band as a negative thing, and I'm like, do you not like having fun? I don't understand. You know what I mean? It just always confuses me when I hear people with negative opinions on that type of stuff. I'm like, let the guys have fun.
Yeah, but
I always
even
say when oh, go ahead.
yeah, like how you're just saying that they like, and Ari was talking about this on the last episode, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, Michael, is building tension and the release. Even now they're even getting into it more with their heavier jams and stuff like that, and then they come back with like a more lighthearted song, like a Dawn a New Day and stuff like that, building the tension and then releasing it and stuff like that. So like that's another progression I feel like that they've actually like started to explore. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all it really boils down to is the valleys and the peaks of the show and the songs. It boils down to tension and release. And that's how you get the people going is by, being real soft, and then it starts building up and bottling up all this like rhythmic dynamicism, and then hit that peak jam where Jeremy hits that one note, and everyone just goes crazy, and then back down to like maybe a trance groove or something, and then people are like, damn, what just happened?
Yeah. Are we still in the same song?
Right?
Right? Yeah. I love when that happens. Like, what is this? Is this Porcupine still?
Yeah. And then they come back into it and they're like, yeah, yes,
yeah, no, good.
I didn't
but yeah,
lose track of time.
yeah. But also going back to, I heard what Ari said, and what you're saying, Jake, with how they're like going low in volume. I'm learning a lot about like dynamics, especially in funk. Doing the palm mutes on guitar is like you can barely hear a note hit, and then you got that ghost note. So I think they're definitely progressing on that as well. There's a lot to put into less of what the notes are and more of the dynamics of the sound.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well put. Yeah. Yeah. I like how we were talking about the dynamics of, the sound, and exactly, just like different things here and there. Recently, different sounds on Gator's drum pad that he's added into Live It Up and stuff like that. Almost like a 90s techno type feel to it. But yeah, man, the dynamics of Pigeons, I think, is definitely evolved. And I see you got a Noodly Brooke shirt on, man.
Yeah, man, repping.
Yeah, that's nice.
I just saw her was a few weeks ago over in Lexington, North Carolina. I don't know if she's still touring, but yeah, she was great. Loved her and her band. Hope to see her again soon.
Yeah, I think
Actually,
she's
I will at Casual Campout.
nice.
Where's that?
That's near Raleigh at this place called Lakeside Retreats. And it's got a lakeside stage. It's gorgeous over there. And they had a great festival last year with Consider Source, Anthony Thogmartin's side project from Papadocio.
Cool.
Bunch of local bands as well, Right Avenue. But this year they have Les Special and Sun Squabby headlining.
Yes.
Wow.
And Natalie Brooks going to be there. Sneezy. Austin Litz's, what is it called? Not Late Night Radio.
I think, something like
Crypto
that.
Wave.
Crypto Wave Radio. There you
yeah.
go.
I think that's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
but
are off the top of my head, but
The Special's a band I definitely want to see again. I think I've seen them about twice now, and I kind of dig their heavier nature. Is a little bit different, but I had a good time with their shows. Yeah, something I'm definitely trying to get back around on. If anybody would come to Florida, please feel free. You know, anybody want to tour? Bueller.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I'm actually stoked. Their Frasco's coming on May 4th. So definitely gonna be seeing Frasco here in Miami. So it's anytime someone comes to town, it's like there's someone gonna be here. So I'm just excited. So that's my really next show coming up in town, a couple weeks away.
has Pigeons ever been to Miami?
Yeah, they played since I lived here. They played the band shell the last Florida run, which is like a couple miles from my house, which was cool. They played at Fort Lauderdale last time they were down. It's still only about 35, 40-minute drive away. So in relative driving terms, it was down the flipping street, you know. But yeah, I mean, like they make their little Florida run once a year, kind of do it Tampa, Orlando, and South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. So I hope they keep it up. I'd love to see more bands. Even like Billy Strings was playing Tampa the other night. I'm like, this is too far away. Not even a really huge Billy Strings fan, but I'm so starved. I'm like, I would just go to a show, but it's like a 3.5 hour drive. And I was like, oh.
That's not that bad.
But-
You should have met.
Yeah, I know. It's Shanky to call me a
Tiffany's
bitch. It's
going-
fine. I get it. What's that?
Tiffany's driving to Lexington, Kentucky
Nice.
next weekend to see Billy.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
about
guy's on a tear, and it's I'm not really a bluegrass guy, so it's not typically my cup of tea. But I saw him at Peach Fest. I had a good time, so you know, happy to always just go vibe at a show. But maybe next time, Billy. Maybe next.
Maybe
He
next.
did a whole set of Train songs last night.
Oh, really?
Saw that.
That's
Yeah.
a funny
You like
thing.
Train
Disco
songs?
Biscuits too, right?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I think he did one of the Train song. Like I think Disco Biscuits does a Train song.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
That's
And-
fantastic.
I really want to hear Billy Strings cover the Disco Biscuits. That's got to be a unique arrangement, dude. That's got to be cool.
I mean, he just played with Primus too.
The young man is on a tear. We can be honest
He
there.
cannot
He's
be
definitely.
stopped.
Yeah, I love to see it. Look, even though, like I said, it might not be my favorite thing, I love to see that kind of success. And he seems like a good guy, and it kind of runs a good show. So, yeah, wish him all the best, and fun to see.
yeah. If you haven't seen his Theo Von podcast his podcast with Theo,
Yeah.
you should listen to it. It's very interesting.
All right, I'll definitely have to check that out. How long ago was he on there?
Just recently, like last
Yeah, that was
month.
good.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
awesome.
You said you were listening to that podcast with Ben and Gator with the jazz professor.
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but probably got like 30 minutes in.
Nice. I was planning on listening to that. I haven't gotten to it yet, but looks interesting as all get out. So glad you already picked something out of it. So I'm looking forward to giving it a listen. Should be
Yeah, I'm
fun.
always
Yeah,
fascinated with a more technical approach. Again, me not knowing, like even when a few minutes ago when you were kind of talking technical, I'm hearing you talk, but you were just describing taking apart an engine to me. I'm just kind of like, oh, sure, it sounds awesome, like, all right. So to hear people that can actually talk about it at least gives me a little bit more insights into what they're doing. And, is he doing more wingy wingy or more waka waka? Like that's my technical, technical breakdown.
The boop boop boops and the beat bop.
So Gator, are you hitting the more of the or the more of the boppity bops,
Oh, the boppy bops.
Yeah, I'm all about the boppity bops.
But yeah, I always, whenever I see a show, I always try and talk to the band afterwards, kind of pick their brain on how they, go about jamming and all that. Because some bands, they just, like Eggy, they just go straight off the cuff the whole time.
Really?
Spafford too. And then got other bands that kind of have like a structured approach to everything.
Humphreys seems to do, like, I picked this up years ago seeing them, and they're point up and down, and they have like hand signals. I'll see Jake, he'll just start throwing hands, then they're looking at each other, and they just have like this, sign language they're playing to each other, but it's all about where the jam is going. We're going up 2 or down 1 or, and then just like, that's wild watching them kind of like go back and forth on stage, like just communicating like that, and then keeping the jam just rolling like nothing's, like you wouldn't know different if you didn't see them communicating.
Yeah, it's. I think Humphreys probably has the most like intricate forms of communicating with each other for jams and whatnot.
I'm pretty sure Stasic's telepathic as well, so there's even stuff we don't see, which is even crazier. So that may or may not be true. I don't know, but we'll see.
Just a
when you're,
little head nod.
Yeah.
If you watch Pigeons, I feel like Jeremy pretty much leads where everything is going. But
except when Jeremy goes down, and then the rest of them use their telepathic powers to figure out how to just kind of power through Jeremy's technical issues, which we just saw, which is pretty cool also.
Yeah. I mean, just from watching, it's always like Greg's like, and then Greg's like relaying stuff to Ben and stuff too. He's like, and then Gator's, I mean, it's probably mostly Gator and Jeremy that are pretty much leading. I would say Jeremy's probably deciding the songs and where the set list is going for the most part. Like if the audibles are in there, it's probably what Jeremy's pretty much feeling. But
yeah, I see him lean into the mics, and I guess they have either probably a foot pedal or something. So when they just talk, it's just internal talk. It's not going through the PA. But I've seen a few times of them kind of talking through the mic as well. I think Ben lean over and do it. I know Gator's done it. I think sometimes. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe they're doing. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like an aux mic that goes through in-ears that they have, and they're able to talk to each other, but doesn't, go to the speakers or anything. So, it's a great tool to have. Just talk to each other, be like, hey, we're gonna take this, whole step up, or let's go to a different song after, this measure or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be always interesting to see, like, in parts of the shows, what they're saying, right? As people are communicating, right? Like, how are they getting this message across and where they're taking the jam? It would be like the director's cut of the show. You get the extra audio layer.
I would love to get that. I would pay money for that.
That'd be cool.
I'm sure you're not the only
you gotta
one.
think, like, do they joke around? Is it very serious talk? Is this is it like military channels? I just farted.
Greg's probably ripping everyone in the crowd.
Right?
Just making fun.
You see this guy on the rail up here?
Look at
glasses and bald head sitting there.
Yeah. Lee's being goofy. Look at Lee. It's not just...
Yeah. We're definitely not going to play what's on his sign tonight. Wait, shout out Lee, but does he have a sign right now, or is he signless? I can't remember the last time I saw if he had one.
I think he's pretty content with Pigeons right now.
Wow. All right.
No,
content is good.
We kid.
Well, I always remember when I first met him, Big in the Changes was the sign he had for quite a while, up until it was Podfest they played it at. And I mean, like every show I'd see him with the sign, and I'm just like, dude, they're never gonna play it for you. Stop bringing the sign. And sure enough, he gets it, and he goes crazy.
He got it twice.
Good to see it.
I think he did it
Yeah.
twice. For This Is That, I
Yeah.
think, too.
Uh-huh.
But good for him. Good for him.
And put in the work.
Right.
You got anything else going on in the dojo, man?
Maybe Danny, bass player, will come over later today, and we'll work some stuff through. Getting ready for our show in a couple weeks.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, we have this. I mean, I don't know how much you can tell how big this practice space is, but we got drums, keys, even a vocal booth back there.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
I set up a easel over there, and we got a couch to chill on. Trying to set this place up for vibes and maybe some like intimate open jams, stuff like that.
Nice, dude. No, I'm all for the vibes.
Yeah, vibes are very, very important wherever you go.
Yeah.
It's all about the environment.
Absolutely. Jake, what do we got for tour dates coming up?
Well, everyone's excited for the return of Pigeons, May 3rd and May 4th. We got them in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, at XL Live with Kendall Street Company the first night, and then the Dome Fest All Stars the second night.
Woo.
And
Hey, yo.
I believe that Ben is doing a short schwa set May 4th. I might be wrong about that, but I did hear people talking about that, so I might
Is
be
that
wrong.
before the show, after the show? When is that supposed to be?
Before the
does.
show, because the Dome Fest All Stars are after Pigeons are playing, so that would make sense.
That'd be
if that's
cool.
the case. But we'll see. And then they're off the rest of May after the 4th currently until they announce anything else, but we'll see until they go to the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, and this begins the Dogs in a Pile Andy Frasco touring circus that's going on. And then the next night, the 25th, they're in Connecticut, the 26th in Utica, New York, and then a couple of days off, and then May 31st they're in Rochester, New York, and then head west to Columbus, Ohio. June 1st, June 2nd, they're going to be in Newport, Kentucky, which is pretty much right across the river from Cincinnati.
Nice.
And then I was thinking about this the other day, the June 5th, June 6th shows that are without without Andy. Dogs in a Pile. What makes you think that they're going to be going to Missouri in the middle of June? Not in the middle, in the beginning of June. You think they might?
they're already over there.
Well, they're going to be in Kentucky on the 2nd, so they're just going to go over to.
Oh, they're heading to Bonfire Music and Arts Festival.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, are they gonna go to Red Rocks? But there's not enough time there. But yeah, they're gonna be in Kansas City and then St. Louis, and then they head up to Bonfire Music Festival, in Yuba, Wisconsin, and then head back down south in Kalamazoo, Michigan on the 7th at Bell's Brewery. And again, most of these shows are going to be all outside. This Bell's Brewery is outside. Last time that they were there, got rained out in the middle of Poseidon.
Ah, bummer.
Poseidon. Yeah, that was my 99 show. And they hit the festival circuit again. They're gonna do Northlands Music Festival in New Hampshire, and then they go to the Gisum Crow Festival in Jay, Vermont. The Gamblers Run, July 26th to the 28th.
That was I'm glad to see them going back, but I guess they're not headlining the 3 nights. It's they're there, but are they playing every night?
I don't know. I just saw that they were like you said, not opening it. I mean, not doing all three like they did this year, because I think last year was their first year doing that festival. So
Yep.
this is second year. But we got the Caverns August
Ayo.
23rd. But you see
Oh yeah.
this gap, the 26th, they almost have another month off here, right? What
Yep.
if they go to Red Rocks in this time?
I mean, look, I think between Dogs, Frasco, and them, that's definitely Red Rocks worthy. If you ask me, anyway,
Yeah,
it's my humble
it
opinion.
makes
Same.
sense to me. But anyways,
Oh, wait,
that's
wait! I just got a text from Lee that says no, they wouldn't have.
thanks. But
All
the
right.
Hard
cave
no.
underground both nights. These should be fun. And if people are not aware, there's two VIP options for this show. There's Pigeons VIP, which gets you early access into the venue, and then the cave themselves offers a VIP, which is separate from the Pigeons VIP, and it just gives you a rail access pit. So no meet and greet with that one. It's just the caves VIP. But then after they come out of the cave, they go to Birmingham, Alabama at Avondale Brewing Company, and then head back up to New York in the Northeast for a show at the Rooftop at Pier 17, Thompson's Point, September 1st, and Portland, Maine, September 6th. Devil's Backbone, which we were talking about. And there's going to be camping at this show as well and stuff. And their outdoor venue is pretty cool. The campground's like right next to where they play music, and it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty cool brewery. They got like it's in the middle of nowhere. Like Michael was saying, it's right near the Appalachian Trail, so it's pretty rural. And then
Yeah, there's literally nothing near it.
yeah, it's actually a cool spot. I remember last year was so hot though. Not last year, but when they played it, it was so hot. The camping was not ideal.
Oh yeah, it's September. Yeah.
Nothing like those early mornings and your tent when it's at 1,000 degrees. Always a good way to wake up.
It's the worst. But then talking about the Fillmore in Charlotte on the 7th, and then the 12th. This one's been announced since the beginning of the year. Vendor Jamboree.
Fun fact I learned about the Vendor Jamboree, which makes me just laugh even more about it, is for $395 you can get all you can drink for every concert there.
Jeez.
It's like that place is gonna get messy. It's yeah. I'm gonna go now just because I want to watch.
Is that why it's called Vendor?
Right, like they're leaning into it hard. I think it's gonna be a shit show in a good way. Well, I think it'll be necessarily in a bad way, but I bet it'll be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think the people are just gonna be there, just getting loose, like extra.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby, woo!
And then as far as all their announcements, they have Oceans Calling in Ocean City, Maryland, September 27th to the 29th. That's all they have announced so far. And yeah, that's what we got.
I'm excited to see them get back to it. They're well rested, I'm sure. And yeah, I need some fresh pigeons to keep me moving.
Right.
That's right. Well,
Of
thank you,
course,
Michael.
of course.
The Funk
Appreciate you coming on
liaison
today.
coming to us from the dojo, giving us some perspective on some music. So really appreciate you, buddy, and thanks again for making our theme music. It's been dope.
Yeah. I just want to shout out you guys for doing what you're doing right now. It's pretty cool, and the whole flock in general. I won one of the giveaways last year and went to Denver to see. That was the last show actually at Mission Ballroom.
Oh, nice.
And So yeah, I got 2 VIP tickets from the giveaway, and just want to give a shout out to everyone that played a part in that.
Dude, that's good to hear, man. I'm happy because you hear about those giveaways and you never really know if anyone wins them and stuff like that. So I'm glad that you won them. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and just everyone. I've met the best people through the flock, so that's why I love pigeons and everyone that has anything to do with pigeons. So yeah, I've met my best friends through it.
Yeah, I think that's how all three of us have met each other is through a pigeon show. So quite literally, that's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Definitely feel that
All right.
sentiment, guys. But I
Well,
think that wraps us up.
Yeah, until next time. Peace.